Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am Mike Polner. I'm the VP of Product Marketing here for Adobe. This is my first Sundance. It is fantastic to be here. Thank you. Thank you. I'm inspired by the creativity here. I'm inspired by the filmmakers. I'm inspired by the artists. It's just been an amazing energy overall. You know, one of the things here that I'm new, but Adobe is certainly not new to the Sundance Festival. Adobe is a longtime sponsor of Sundance, and over 85% of the films here were used and created with Adobe tools, which is really incredible. Woo! Great. So one of the films that I saw last night, I had the pleasure of seeing Public Access. Public Access is a documentary all about public access television. It was an incredible story. Yes, fantastic. It was great. Highly, highly recommended. And Public Access chronicled the story of public access television, and it talked about this new medium of creation. And this new medium of creation was in some ways scary. It was different. It was a new tool and a new way for people to be able to create great content. And in some ways, it was actually one of the original creator platforms, and it spawned waves of new creators as filmmaking and video cameras all came live. And as I was watching this documentary, I couldn't help but think about the parallels to where we are today. And think about the new technologies that are coming out now that are new, and in some places they're scary, but in other ways they're also amazing and they're empowering, and they offer new ways for people to create, new ways for creators to create great content, and new ways for more and more people to create than ever before. So I left very, very inspired about where we are today. And here at Adobe, we fundamentally believe today is the best day ever to be a creator. And that AI is a tool for, not a replacement of creativity. So those tools may change, but fundamentally, the people behind those tools never will. So I'm honored to showcase these two original shorts here specifically for Showtime and Park City. The first is you're going to see Wink from director and creator Momo Wang. Wink is an incredible animated, heartfelt story. I was just hearing all the inspiration behind it. It's based on a really true story of this amazing cat. You'll see it's incredible story. And it's created through a blend of traditional animation and AI. And you'll also see MythOS, which is written and directed. That's right. Woo, MythOS. Written and directed by Taryn O'Neill. MythOS is it's a hybrid live action and an AI-generated film that moves through mythical worlds to explore memory, connection, what it means to rebuild these shared narratives together through a fractured time. So these incredible filmmakers are showing what happens when AI meets incredible vision and artistic control. So after this screening, we'll also continue the conversation with a panel moderated by Cynthia Littleton, co-editor-in-chief of Variety, who will be joined by Momo and Taryn to discuss how these films came to life, give even more insight behind the scenes, what it means for the future of filmmaking. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting independent artists and creativity everywhere. Enjoy the show.
Film stories are lost to us! They are buried in the coils and cells and switches of our silicon.
I know you.
We turned our backs on them, allowed them to be swallowed.
Now I recognize you.
It's been a while.
Reality, it's off, fractured. It's breaking down.
The machines, they've messed up compression. The old systems that used to run things can't sync.
What fixes it?
Gotta do a full reboot.
How? With what?
These are the original storytellers who are forgotten.
What is that?
It's the oldest form of magic.
Must be remembered. Must be remembered.
Your ride is waiting.
It's the stories that matter, that become matter. The universe's greatest energy.
We can rewrite them together. A new mythic operating system.
Since I was a kitten, I've been... Ah, monster! I was gonna say different, but whatever. Then, one night, everything changed.
That boo-hoo-hoo act isn't gonna get you anywhere, honey. You need to transform into what they want you to be.
I took my future into my own paws.
Come on! 7-7! My lucky cat!
I had finally found a home.
Oh, I love you so much. And you, and you, and you. Mwah.
Or did I?
Mwah, 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 mwah.
This is the new pet cafe? Oh no, that's across the street. Oh, great.
See? We can't even get her to like us.
We'll never get adopted. Hey, that boo-hoo-hoo act isn't gonna get you anywhere. But I can help. It's not humans who choose us. We choose humans! First things first. Eyes are the window to the soul. If you hold their gaze long enough, you'll be eating out of the palm of their hands. And don't forget smile. Next, when you're in his arms, make him believe it's the most beautiful moment of his life.
It's a little expired. The set only lasts for 3 minutes.
That's long enough.
Girl!
Bingo!
Girl!
This target is definitely on the pet show circuit. Taffy, you got this. But first... Don't rub it off, don't rub it off. She's got it!
Girl!
Sporty owner.
Whoa! That fish is sick!
So cute! It looks like you're winking. Why don't we call you Wink? Do you want to come home with me?
Everybody now be sweating in the club. If you wanna go high to the sky, do what you like, rave all night. Everybody, body, rave all night.
Please welcome co-editor-in-chief of Variety, Cynthia Littleton.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. That was really fun. My goodness, it just goes to show you what the kind of the stories can grab you in just such a short time in the hands of incredible storytellers. And we are going to, as was said earlier, we are going to meet some of the people behind the tools, the creators of both of these shorts, which were so good. We're going to bring up first Taryn O'Neill, writer and director of the first one you saw, MythOS. Welcome, Taryn. And next up is Momo Wang, director and creator of Wink. Again, congratulations. It takes skill to grab us like that, but oh my goodness, and I love that they're two very different types of stories, but obviously empowered by the incredible tools that are now, that are now available to storytellers. And we really want to unpack just how much of the creativity that unleashed. But I would just like to start by, well, I know from talking to people in animation over the years that some of the hardest things are fur, scales, and feathers. And I love that you both just went right there. So let's just start. I'd love to start with you, Taryn, about that hero image of the whale is so distinctive, and it's the thing I think that really grabs people, that you just go right into the iris of the eye. Talk about, I know from talking to you a little bit ago, that was a real, talk about how you achieved that shot and what it was, what tools allowed you to give it that incredible texture that really signals to the viewer, oh, something is amiss here.
Thank you. It's a good question. So we started with a picture out of Adobe stock. So it was a sperm whale we licensed that picture. And then my amazing AI art director, Maddie, along with the team, we iterated on that picture to create a version of this whale that we could have a true emotional connection with. And we landed on this one whale. It was like a wide shot of the whale, and I'm like, this is our whale. And so from there, we really, you basically iterate from there. And I would ask, I was using Adobe Firefly on the Firefly boards, and I would go through different framings. And so I would ultimately go from a wide shot to this, like a medium wide shot. I would do different angles, and finally I got to a shot that it was the eye. And so then I was able to go into Firefly video, and I would do first frame, last frame from the medium shot to the tight eye shot. And that was what was creating that image. But, the models are getting so wonderful that they are, creating that texture. Normally that would have been, a huge animation team to be able to create that kind of texture. It's the same with water. The water shots that we were able to create were, just mind-blowing for me to be able to work with.
The bubbles are also incredible.
Yes,
too. Yeah,
I love my bubbles.
I want to talk more about the prompts, but I want to, Momo, Wink had us from the minute I ascribed Wink to be male, but Wink is a she. From the minute she just peeks her little head out from that trash pile. I mean, if your heart doesn't flutter at that point. But tell us about what you found were some of the most challenging aspects to iterate and create with Wink. And Momo, you have an incredible background. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but you have an incredible depth of experience in animation. So I'm not surprised, but I'd love to for you to talk about what tools and what allowed you to just get that furry face that just grabs us right from the start.
Thank you. Yeah. So actually, the Wink, that's based on a real rescue cat I have. So I usually did a lot like hand drawing and then like sketch for a Wink. Originally, so she lose one eye to abuse. When I first time saw his picture on SPCA website, I knew I was taking him home. Like the real cat was male. Yeah. So I did a lot of hand drawing, and then the first one I'm gonna do the character design. So I put the image, my sketch, into the Nano Banana on Adobe Firefly, and then turn into the 3D model. And then I combine 5 to 10 images together on Photoshop to make it originally. And then that's the Wink we can see. We also 3 views, everything. And then you can see there's a lot of complex shots in there. So I can tell there were 3 challenges we've been facing. That's the most. One is the lip syncing. That we talk about like the fur, water. That's the most hard thing to do. Even especially for AI filmmaking, lip syncing is one of the biggest challenge, especially that's animal. If you see the shots for the chameleons talking like, oh, you have to learn, blah, blah. So we generate that shot for many, many times. Because on that shot, we need the lip syncing. The same time, he need to slowly move. Also, we need the color to change, plus glow. So if you combine to hit a few targets on the same shot, that's really difficult. Also, the same time, another shot, that's when Wink blow the perfume. That's the dog have to talk, she has to talk, and she has to make the movement. So that's really difficult. Also, like when we see the casino, the rat that's throwing the cheese ball, we go to all the underground, like structures. That's the most challenging shots for this film because all the movement logic is hard for AI to understand. How the cheese ball to hit the first, and then the ball to fall, and then the roll keep rolling. So all the logic we generate for many, many times. Yeah, so all the challenge we perfectly handled. And then that's because on my team, we have the professional filmmaking background. We still require the professional expertise.
Absolutely. Can you talk about how using Firefly and other tools, how the workflow to make both of these shorts, how your workflows, again, you both have experience as filmmakers, how it would have been probably so different 10 years ago if you were trying to achieve the same visual effects?
Yes, it was a completely different workflow, and the time was compressed greatly to make this in a month. So we basically edited the movie before we were generating the video or going to the green screen stage for the actors. So I had original images that were basically my keyframes, and then we were storyboarding it. So we weren't going to have a huge opportunity to have all these different takes with the actors. We had to really pre-visualize, but because of the Firefly boards, you can pre-visualize. I mean, our team, we had a different board for every scene. And then we had like a style board, which, because we had a lot of freelancers on, gave us basically like a baseline of what is the aesthetic for each of these scenes. And yeah, we just, basically we were doing the VFX work in advance. And our VFX team had never had a short film that wasn't locked. So our picture wasn't locked when we were getting our VFX assets, which is the composites with the actors. So because of the Firefly boards, we were able to basically have the movie basically mapped out before we went to the actors.
Did that at all change or adjust the storytelling?
Yes. The storytelling was so fluid because it became like a lucid dream. Like this is a bit of a dream in a way, a whale's dream if you have it. And so because of the collaboration, we were constantly iterating, what are these images that we're able to generate that can tell the story in the best way? I may have had a specific image that I had in mind, but when you're using the models, sometimes there's a hallucination that you get this amazing idea from, and the team brings it to you. So yeah, there was this fluidity to it that I thought was really incredible.
Momo, what about you?
I have a perfect example. The 2023, I direct a film which qualified for Oscar. That's a 10-minute film, like a 2D traditional animation, that took 2 years to make. This film, 5 minutes, 28 days. 3D mixed 2D style.
That's mind-blowing. That's absolutely mind-blowing. I also want to mention that Momo is in the Asian Animation Hall of Fame. She has a lot of experience.
I was honored to be the first animation director inducted into Asian Hall of Fame. I was also one of the first to have an AI film collected by our National Film Museum.
That's awesome. Let's talk, because of course, you all are experienced and obviously gained a lot of experience on this project, but can you talk for folks that are just starting to kind of dip their toes in the water, talk about the prompt and the iteration process? What at the highest level, like what is important as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, for people to know about that process and documenting that process? I hear from a lot of people using generative AI tools that they're always saying. The Producers Guild had a big event a couple months ago, and they say the most important thing is make sure you document those prompts. Keep them in. It's almost, that's the new form of copyright, right? Did either of you experience that?
I will be documenting. we were in a fast and furious pace. For me, for the prompting with my team, it was about making sure that we were prompting from a cinematic point of view. So we were prompting not just from the story, from the script. We had a bot that kind of helped us, that knew our shots that we had outlined, that knew the script, that might help us, specifically if we were looking for a specific shot, what would be that prompt that would best elevate it and create it. But the most important thing for us was being true to the style and the feeling of it, as well as using the language of the camera. What is the camera we're using? What were the lenses that we were using? So that we were giving that camera lens information to the models. And then, of course, sort of the initial source images that I had generated that were my inspiration. So those were the baseline. But yes, documenting everything so that, especially within a team, when you have a lot of different AI freelance artists that are like helping you bring this together, it was very important to have that. We would have in the style board, we would have all of the prompts laid out that were like the key prompts for our key scenes.
I guess in the process, there's a natural, you're going to have that file, but again, they couldn't have stressed enough. Momo, what about you in terms of what was important for you to make sure that you had that sort of record of each step that you took?
So first of all, document everything. And then also the same time, because I just shared that's the way for I make all the layout and the images, designs, I combine many things together. So they will be keep my idea that's original. And then also the same time, I feel that's important that the tool is fixed, but people, we are flexible, right? So you don't have to write prompt to make AI. Like me, for the first 2 years, I didn't really write prompts because I'm an artist. I'm not an engineer. I can't write a perfect, amazing prompt. That's not my specialty, right? So I only do image to image. So you always have the limit tool, but you can do unlimited way to use it.
Taryn, talk about you had 2 live action actors in your film. Can you talk about the sort of degrees of manipulation that once you got that raw footage, how did you manipulate them? The scenes of the young woman in the bubble, or just seeing that bubble move like that was stunning.
That's thanks to Maddie.
We have some of the folks that worked on your short are in the house here.
Yeah, they are. So as soon as we cast the actors, we created character sheets for them. So I had to figure out exactly what they were wearing right off the bat, and we took photos of them in full frame as well as expressions. And so we created these character sheets that were basically information data for the models. So there was 2 types of ways we used the actors, that we collaborated with the actors. And I'm a former actor of 20 years. It was incredibly important that we show live performance in this. We filmed them on a green screen stage, and then we composited them into the worlds that we created with AI. And then we also created pure generative AI shots that were based on their digital doubles. So we had consent from them to create these digital doubles. Now, these aren't like the digital doubles that big fancy companies do, like a James Cameron. This was a character sheet that informed, one picture that informed the model of what these characters would look like. So we created these wide shots, over-the-shoulder shots. They are not in those shots at all. They were purely generated by AI. So anytime you saw the actor expressive and speaking dialogue, that was composite work. So we shot them on a green screen with AI backgrounds. We had a very talented VFX team that made it look very, composited and synonymous with reality that we created. And then all the other shots you saw of them, we created that purely in AI. So we matched the AI shots with the composite shots. And I'm really proud of how it turned out that way.
How was it? How was the experience for the actors? Did you talk to them about it? Did they, as a fellow actor?
Yeah. So both actors, when I was talking to them, they were both very reticent. They're like, narrative around AI and acting is very negative, understandably. They think they're being replaced. And I was like, no, we're putting you in a world that's really exciting. And so I spent a lot of time educating them about the process of how I was going to utilize their digital double, how they would be protected. I did a very intensive contract with them for that way, and their voice. And once they understood what was happening, they really loosened up and they were like, this is really exciting. And then when we were on set and I would show them the monitor of what their composite, what themselves composited into the temporary background we had created, their eyes lit up. They're like, I'm in that place? That's so cool. And so, yeah, I think that for at least the 2 actors I worked with, they understood the opportunities here.
That's so interesting. Momo, I noticed something. I've watched this short a couple times. It's always fun to watch with an audience. I noticed something at the very end. Of course, the woman that comes and pulls Wink in the voice is yours. And I noticed this time. There's something. She's wearing a tote bag. I love me a tote bag. And the tote bag says September 15th, if I read it right. I was curious what that refers to.
Well, that day was the day I adopted my cat.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So, yeah, we can tell actually I voiced that girl. Also, the look is actually referenced with me.
I'm sorry, the what?
The look, the design.
Oh, the look, yeah.
Yeah, the design, yeah, the character. Yeah, so I would like to share the fun facts. Actually, the story, the character was inspired by my rescue cat. The story was inspired by my own experience with hundreds of blind dates. yeah. So actually, the story that's about a cat and also help the pets looking for a home. But actually, that's a reflection of my own search on true love and self-worth. So yeah, my part of my background as a graphic novel creator. So I was working on a sequence comic that's a dating diary, Momo dating diary, that was really popular online in China. So that case for collecting materials, I've been dating over 300 guys in 2 years. Yeah, I had a lot of first date. I mean, I write down, like, most of them, they are first date. Also, yeah, because, for professional, I want to be professional to collect my material. I even took a lot of dating classes, All the tricks, the wink been teaching other animals, they are actually exact dating tricks. Eye contact and the physical touch, So, I was searching for my story material, but at the same time, I do really looking for my Mr. Right, the right person. But sometimes I feel I'm a wink. I always have to performing, package myself, everybody want to be the perfect one. But in the end, we can see that's when wink find a really a person can see who she really is, and then without any packaging, any train, and any performing. So yeah, that's the time we're showing for finding true love, finding a home. You don't have to be lucky or have to be, perfect to deserve a home or love. You can just be you. Yeah, thank you.
We have the most human of inspirations behind both of these films. Let's talk a little bit about your backgrounds and tell us, so start with Taryn, what was going back to the beginning for you, what was your creative spark to be a filmmaker, to be a storyteller, to get in? I know acting was an initial focus for you. What was that spark that made you pursue this career?
Actually, it was my intense curiosity about understanding the universe. I was that nerdy kid who would sit in my backyard and look up at the stars and try to understand why we're here and what is existence. And I think movies this will date me, but like E.T. and Star Wars that I got to see in the theater just spoke to me at such an amazing level. And I became a performer when I was very young. I was a competitive figure skater. And performing and expressing to music and telling a story on the ice, that just became part of my DNA. And that just evolved into a curiosity of nature and science and storytelling and art. And I've worn a lot of different hats. I'm a Gemini. I have an economics degree, but then I pursued acting and theater and was a web series producer in Hollywood. I'm also a huge science and STEM nerd. Carl Sagan, Cosmos, that was a huge seminal influence to me. And I adore this planet we live in and live on and live within. And that's where my art has taken me, where I want to create stories that illuminate our opportunities for better futures. Not perfect, not utopias, but I have this feeling that we have this post-apocalyptic gloom and doom narrative that has been so pervasive in Hollywood, and we as storytellers have the opportunity and the responsibility to change it. Because if people can't see what our potential futures are, how are we going to create it? And the people in this room right now are so talented to be able to do that. And you have new tools that you can do that with. That doesn't negate hiring and collaborating and collective storytelling with all your peers here. And I really feel that this is an exciting moment right now that we can start telling a different story about what we want our future to be like. And that's where my initial sitting on the grass and looking up at the stars and wanting to know why we're here is answered.
That was very well said. The oldest form of magic. And I miss no opportunity because I think we were living the same life because I miss no opportunity. 1977, I was 8 years old at the Alex Theater in Glendale, California. Raise your hand if you've been there. And my dad, God rest his soul, took me to see Star Wars. And when that In a Galaxy Far, Far Away came up, I was never the same. Never the same. And so yay for the theatrical experience, yay for Star Wars, and then Cosmos a few years later. We were absolutely living the same life. Momo, you grew up in Beijing. Can you tell us about your spark and your path to becoming an incredibly accomplished writer, creator?
So I was born in China, and then I started drawing since I was 4. I grew up with my mom as a single parent, and she worked for 3 jobs just to keep me in the school. And then, so I still remember when being a kid in the winter, like everybody have new shoes, but I only still wearing the summer old shoes. I asked my mom why. She looked at me and say, well, everything you have now, that's all I can give you. For anything you want more, you have to go get yourself. That became my life motto. And then something later happened that when I got in one of the best animation school in China. And then in my 3rd year, there was a big interesting timing that the chatting app that got popular, blooming in China. So I created a character called Tusky, and then turned into the sticker and post online. They went viral across over 10 countries. 6 months later, I sold the copyright to Warner Brothers. Yeah, and then I think that's meaning bigger than a career milestone to me, because I called my mom and said, Mom, starting today, you don't have to work anymore.
That is an amazing story of diligence. Did Warner's, did they do anything with the character, or do you have it back?
They grow it to be a global phenomenon. Yeah, they have a TV shows like a movie and a themed restaurant, like everything merchandise. You can search online the Tusky merchandise.
Oh my God! Well, as you say, the call to mom, that is fantastic. Well, as our time goes short here, I'd love for both of you to talk about, is there anything super specific about your experience, or even anything you'd like to leave this audience with about not being afraid of embracing generative AI tools? Because I think this conversation has underscored that it is always going to be humans telling these stories.
I would like to dispel the myth that somebody goes on their lunch hour and makes a great AI film. The only way that MythOS was made was by the collaboration of a lot of really talented, passionate people. I think that storytelling, because of the shift into digital streaming, has become so siloed. I sort of had that image up there of the people in the bubbles creating their own work. We need to start creating together again. We need myths that are pervasive and collective and group storytelling. So in moving into this new paradigm of entertainment, of storytelling, do it together. Find your tribe. Tell stories together. Your personal story is incredible, but let's do it all together. And I think that it's just going to give us an opportunity to create some narratives that are going to be able to shift the world. So use the tools, but do it together.
Awesome, thank you. Momo?
I totally agree. I feel the same. Also, I would like to say, keep open-minded, keep never stop trying, and then everything you think, just go do it, make it happen. Sometimes doing imperfect is not that important. Just make it happen is more important. Also, it's some thoughts I really agree with that. So I feel like I just shared, the tools are fixed, the people are flexible. So we can actually use a tool to help complete your dream. So every time when I finish, even though we are working on AI film, it still requires a lot professional filmmaking background. And then it's more, every time after I finish an AI film, it's the most touched and the most impressive for me. That's about the whole team, the professionalism, the passion, and then the creativity, and behind the person, which the group of the people, amazing artists, the amazing kind-minded people work together to build something beautiful. That's something, the moment is never replaceable.
Oh my God. Well, I think the audience can feel the creative spark and excitement that that you brought and the tools have helped unleash. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your work, and appreciate you all sticking with us. Thanks.
Thank you.